Hey friends, welcome back to Canvassing Conversations. I'm Devin with Mind Over Mata, and this is the last spotlight interview of 2025. In today's episode, I'm chatting with RJ, a fellow creative I connected with on Instagram, and someone I've had the joy of exchanging artist trading cards with. What started as a simple art swap turned into a really fun, thoughtful conversation. In this interview, we talk about RJ's artist trading cards, what inspires his work, and how he comes up with so many ideas. We also dive into his outlook on social media, from batching content to documenting his art instead of chasing follower counts, and finding a rhythm that feels sustainable and creative. This one truly feels like a ramble between two creatives, reflective, honest, and full of little gems along the way. So get comfy, grab a drink, and come hang out with us. Hey everybody, welcome to Canvas and Conversations. This is Devin with Mind Over Mata, and thank you so much for being here. I'm here with RJ, and we were here talking a little bit prior to the interview, but we are here now. We're actually getting started. So, RJ, thank you so much for being here. How are you today?
I am very good, and thank you for having me. It is winter here, so I'm having a great time.
It is winter here too. Yeah, we
Yes.
got our first snow today, so.
Yesterday was mine, and it's no fun. I can't varnish or anything outside.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your creative work.
I am RJ. I'm from Western Massachusetts, far away from Boston, in the middle of nowhere. And my creative work, I do mixed media, collage, artist trading cards is probably what I'm best known for, and also a series that I do called That's Art, which involves a blonde cartoon character going to art galleries and questioning all of her decisions. So,
I like that.
yeah, well, she's going through things.
Yeah, well, so as we all.
Yeah, I try to add a little story in each of the captions. I try my best.
Yeah.
Some days are better than others.
Well, I think that works for everything.
Yeah, so I do mixed media, a lot more physical work, but I've touched on digital as well. But I enjoy the physical media more.
Yeah, more traditional aspect.
More traditional. I love dry mediums is like my go-to right now. Colored pencils, inks. I know that's not a dry medium, but colored pencils, pens, charcoal, and stuff like that. I enjoy those.
Really the traditional side of things as far as like non-digital.
I like the hands-on. I think digital, it's fun if I have an idea. I would like to try more with like animation and learning that, but I haven't got to it. And also like try maybe like pixel art, but I do like the hands-on approach. Where the digital stuff, it is fun, but I never really feel truly like connected, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It feels like I'm making the thing, but it's not really real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not something you can hold in your hands and you're like, I made this kind of thing.
Yeah, like I know I could print it out and stuff, and it's I still get the satisfaction when I complete a series, because I do like working on bigger series with it, and digital doesn't take up room, which is fantastic because I have canvases on canvases in the other room in like giant storage containers. I have a whole label system so I can keep track of when I go to post them and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, they take up room.
Yeah, that's true. That is the one struggle of working traditionally is I have no space to put it all.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with the physical stuff, if you like store it wrong, it could get damaged. Or if it's like if another art piece is leaning on it incorrectly, it'll sag and stuff. But I've had that happen before, and that's why I kind of started the artist trading cards. When I found out about those, it was like, oh, these are really tiny and they're not going to take up a lot of room. So I jumped on that in 2023 is when I started those, and it was like, all right, I like tiny art as well.
Well, how did you find artist trading cards a thing? Because this was the first year I heard about it.
A few reasons. One, I'm kind of nostalgic for like the trading cards. I don't have a trading card collection, but when I was younger and as a teen, I was collecting Pokemon cards, playing Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic the Gathering and stuff. I don't do any of that stuff now because it's expensive. Not that art can't be expensive at times with like material wise and stuff.
Yeah.
So I liked that idea, and collecting I thought would be cool from other artists. And how I kind of stumble upon things, it's not really on social media. I don't think I found too much ideas on social media, but I go on Google, or I used to do it a lot more, and I want to get back into it, where you just look up art movements and read about them and kind of figure it out. And that's kind of, play around with styles. And I found the artist trading cards. I don't know what I typed in into Google or how I found it, but I know it had something to do with a Swiss artist started it in the 90s, I believe. I'm not even going to try to say his name because it's Swiss and big, so I'm probably going to mispronounce it. So I don't want to do that. But it started there, and just reading about it, and I was like, oh, it's like really popular. But that doesn't seem to be my experience with it, because when I started making the artist trading card and posting them, nobody really seems to know about them,
Yeah.
which I thought it was going to be much bigger than it actually was. But yeah, it came from Google searching, because I used to do that. And that's especially helpful to generating ideas or just trying stuff. But I have done a lot of trades. It's a lot slower than I thought. I trade with anybody in the world. It doesn't matter where you are, as long as I can like ship to you through the USPS. And I don't know. I got into it, and I like making them. I love making them. I love making art. So I'm not deterred because it's like super slow for the trades. So making stuff is the fun part, and then everything else is kind of secondary. But I thought it was going to be a lot more like I made stuff and everybody was going to show up. But I had the bar a little bit too high
Uh,
on that one.
I
So
think we all do sometimes.
yeah,
I mean,
I was like, oh, I made this. This is going to be like super sweet because it's popular and other people are into it. And then I started it, and it was like crickets. It was like, oh, that's cool. Or a lot of, I want to trade with you. And then I never hear from the person again, which still happens today, but I kind of am used to it now.
but I think the difference is that you stuck with it. Some people they start something because they think it's popular and then they quit, but you kept going with it anyway. So
I think you have to. You have to not have somebody else's reaction be the reason why you're doing something. Like, you make art, I make art, and it's great when people look at it and engage with it on social or in real life, but it's not the main driving factor of why I create. I don't know if that's how you create, where it's like I'm making something to relate to other people.
I feel like at one point I did when I was younger because I thought that was what I was supposed to do is make things that other people liked, but then I wasn't happy, so I shifted gears because I was like, I want to make what I want to make, not what other people are making. And if I'm gonna sell stuff that I enjoy making, I
Mhm.
want to do it with good intentions and not to just monetize it, but just to like sell something that I'm not truly passionate or happy with. If someone came up to me and was like, "Oh, well, why did you paint this?" I don't really want to give the basic answer of like, "Oh, well, it looked nice and I just thought it was popular and people would like it." And I don't like that response. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
I I made it because it sells.
yeah, yeah. Like I don't really want that.
Yeah.
I want to sell it because it meant something special to me and then it
Mhm.
somehow connected with someone else on another level, maybe a different level, but it still connected with them. And so it's showing that two people completely different from each other connected to this one piece of art and somehow brought them together. I mean, I feel like that's just super cool. So,
Yeah, and I feel like it's harder that way because I it's very easy to be like, okay, I'm going to go with the trend,
yeah.
whatever that is, which I feel like it's really hard to see what's trending in like the art world, because there's not really like an art movement in today's culture because everything's so fast.
Yes.
It's like something new pops up and it's like you're bored with it in a week.
Yeah. Very short attention span.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like before the social media era, you had like, the grunge scene, the hair metal scene,
Oh,
the ska scene. There was like these little pockets, and there still is, but you don't for some reason see them as much, or at least in my experience.
yeah.
Art's a little bit different because I do like that it's so wide open, and I have access to all of these art movements that probably I don't want to say never going to see in person, because I don't know if I'm going to go to every like major museum in the world. It's a nice bucket list, but it's nice that I can engage, whether in books or on Google or on museum websites, where I can engage with the art instead of having to buy a plane ticket, hotel, flying there, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess that is one of the benefits of technology. I mean, just being able to connect with stuff that normally wouldn't have been able to otherwise. But there is a lot of, I feel like, downfalls as far as our creative ambitions and stuff have changed over time because of just having everything so readily available. It's just so hard now.
I think with that, it's the where artists in the past, obviously they would have to get funding, but it was like they were doing like one art piece a year
Yeah.
and stuff. Whereas we've all turned into like Keith Haring kind of type. Graffiti artist in the 90s. He would make like 200 art pieces a day, and we've all turned into that. I like getting the idea out fast when I have one, because if I sit too long on the idea and I'm making it, and then I know I'm going to get bored eventually, and then the new idea is going to pop up and it looks fun and exciting, kind of thing, which I think is just like a social media. So there's always this rush to be like, I have to get these art pieces done so I have something to post.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I started on social, where it was make an art piece on Monday, post it on Tuesday, make an art piece on Tuesday, post it on Wednesday.
Right.
Was good at the beginning doing that, but I wasn't doing the series type stuff where they're all cohesive and they belong together.
So you would say that you batch a lot of your content then?
100%. When I first started social media, and when I first started art, so I kind of have some, like, I don't know if it was a good thing that I started art and then like 2 months into doing just making stuff, and I started with fluid pours, and then I started looking at other art. But my sister was like, "Oh, you should get on social media," and I was like, "Why?" Because I didn't do any of that stuff. And when I first started with social, it became make an art piece today, post it today or tomorrow, make an art piece then. It just fell into that. I was making to post. Like that's how it turned into. And then when I started doing larger series, it became I can't do that because I'm spending 3 months working on one series and I don't have anything to post unless I do a work in progress video, which I'm not really a big fan of. So it became like, all right, let me get the series done, and then let me take like a week off and film everything I need and do photos. It really started when reels happened. Like photos I could do every day. Like you got an art piece done, just run outside, even if it's the dead of winter, take a photo, run back inside, and then post it. I can't do that with my reels because I film my stuff outside because I have bad lighting inside, and I don't even think like a lighting ring would do it, and I need to like walk around for my stuff. So it just wouldn't work out. So I usually take a few days off in the spring and the summer because it's winter here, so I can't film anything
Yeah.
outside because I'll get cold. And I do all the filming, I do all the photos. I don't post anything those days because I'm basically doing that when I can, and then after that, I have to drag everything back inside my big easel and stuff like that. And then I have a backlog. So I'm posting stuff right now while I'm working on another series, and it kind of frees up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Just spending, 3 days, 7 days, or whatever. I have all my social stuff done for like 3 months or whatever, depending on how fast I post. And the only hard part of that is since I'm filming everything ahead of time and I'm taking the photos ahead of time, I have to be completely set on what I'm doing because I don't want to be in like the middle of posting a series and get an idea and then have to film something else. Because I
Right.
like the things in order. It sounds like OCD, but I like the things being like I'm posting number one now, and then number two, number three, number four, number five. Yeah. So it's very much a coordinated effort.
I feel like that for myself as well, at least as far as the series go, batching your content. and having like a backlog, so then that way you have all of them ready to go. And I feel like it would make it so much easier because then you don't have to stress about what you're going to post that day. You can just have it ready to go, and then you can now focus your energy and time towards a new project, which right now I feel like I haven't started any new projects because I'm still stuck on my old projects. So I feel like that's a smart way to do it, is all I'm trying to say, I guess.
It helps a lot, and I thought other artists were doing it, but I've talked to a few of them, and they're just like day by day still. But it's more for mental health, and also, like you said, it frees up time.
Yeah, and it works for you.
Yeah, it works for me. I can make stuff. I don't have to worry about, like, okay, I got to get up in the morning, and since I take my stuff outside and I'm in New England and the weather changes all the time, I'm really dependent on how light it is outside and also how warm it is outside.
Yeah.
And it's winter here. It's icy outside. I don't want to be carrying my easel outside because it's already duct taped. So it's already busted. So I don't want that breaking more. So it's just better to do it, like, pick out the days and do it, but it frees up so much time. I can focus more on posting. It doesn't feel like I'm racing towards, like, oh god, I gotta post something today. And I know that's imposed on me. I'm doing that to myself. I don't have to post every day, but there's always that feeling from social where it's like if you're not showing up, it's, you're missing out kind of thing. But it frees up. You make art. I can do everything else that I want to do and need to do during the day. And also, a lot of my art process is very dependent on having an idea, which I think most artists are. You need an idea first before you execute it. And I need to read books. I need to listen to music. I need to relax. I can't be thinking of an art project while I'm running around filming something to post it the same day to do the same thing the next day.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons, especially if you're working on like a bigger series. It helps out a lot because the only thing I have to worry about is making that art series.
Right. Well, and see, like I also batch, just not, I guess,
Mhm.
the extent of your
I wouldn't
batchiness.
recommend it.
But I don't know, maybe you are onto something though, because I know that other content creators do batch their content. I just, as far as social media is concerned, I only batch as far as weekly. But then I have to worry about it weekly, making sure I have time set aside specifically for that. Otherwise, I won't have anything to post that week. And it gets kind of overwhelming. And so, at least with you, you have backlogs of content and stuff like that. And my thing is I'm still trying to figure out how to reuse content. I've been taught that, like, oh, everything needs to be new, fresh, and you have to post everything that you create every single day. So I'm now trying to reprogram my mind and getting to the point of, yes, I made this piece, but it doesn't have to be the only time I share it on social media. And that's what I'm trying to get used to, is that I could create one photo and two different reels, or like a photo, a carousel, two reels, all for one project. And for me, I'm still getting past that. Well, I have to have something new every single time I post. And you don't have to. You can really just showcase things that you've created over time and make different content from that one piece. And I feel like a lot of artists do that anyway. I just, for some reason, I need to get past that hurdle. That's a hurdle for me right now because I'm like,
Yeah, it's. I had the same thing. I came from, when I started, it was pre-COVID, I believe. So it was just photos,
Mhm.
and it was, you have to post a new thing and only post one a day, or you're going to annoy your followers. And the climate has changed
Oh yeah.
so much.
Now it's making you post like more than three times a
Yeah,
day.
you're
Like,
you're incentivized to post more than 3 times a day. You do get more views, obviously, but it takes time to
yeah.
post all that. The coming back to the art pieces that you post, the way that I look at that, I think the artist trading cards really helped me get over that hurdle of, like, oh, I can post an art piece multiple times. Because if I only did it that way with one photo and one reel talking about I have an artist trading card for trade, it's not enough.
Yeah.
And that kind of transferred over to the non-artist trading card series. And then I have a few ideas. Like, I posted this pop, I called it my coloring book art series, which was a very pop influenced series. And there's scribbles because I love scribbles, just like, how you do as like a kid. I wanted to like relive that moment.
Uh,
I'm basically chasing my childhood and all my stuff.
yeah.
I've cartoons from my childhood and that, so I did that, and I did it with the photos, me putting my art on an easel, uh, which I do, and then the art talk where I talk about the art piece and trying to figure out how long each one was. And I was doing an art talk video, and in the artist easel, when I was using music at the time, I don't do that anymore. I just talk over that as well, because I've had issues with the music, with them like taking down the music and then they take down your video or mute it. So I can't have that because I talk a lot.
Mm.
So I need that. But I had a few ideas since then. I posted that one, I believe, last year. I want to say at the end of last year. And it's about like, I think there's like 50 something pieces. And I did it that way. But then I got an idea where I could do something else with it. So by doing the artist trading cards where it's like repeat, 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 it kind of transferred over to like, oh, I can post this one piece 3, 4 times, and it's not annoying, I don't think, to most people. Like, maybe some people are annoyed by it, but I can't gauge. Like, I need to get my stuff out there, and I need to get it out there as best I can, and the only way to do that is by doing it multiple times.
Well, and I've heard that most of the time, either your followers or new people don't even see the four different types of content. Like, so that's why it's encouraged to post so frequently with the same art piece. So then that way you're trying to get it out to more people. And I would say, even for myself, when you post a video, I see the video and I'll like it. And I might see the same art piece in your storyline, but that's probably about it. Unless I specifically click on your profile and was like, oh, he posted it 4 times. I would not know that.
Yeah, most of the action, to my knowledge and in my experience, is happening on the For You pages and the Explorer pages. On all of the socials, even on TikTok, most of my likes, my minimal amount of likes on TikTok, is not coming from people who follow me. It's coming from people on the For You pages.
Yeah.
And they don't know, most of those people, only a small percentage would come to the page
Right.
because they are just flipping by. They're doing what everybody does. I'm guilty of it too. You're just scrolling along, maybe stop on something for a second and then move on to the next.
Right.
And I think if anybody gets annoyed by that, that's kind of like a weird thing to get annoyed, because if you look around at the For You pages, it's, at least mine, it's trend stuff of people copycatting the same audios
Yeah.
or the same style or whatever. I mean, how many artists, and it probably gets views, so I respect the hustle, but how many people have you seen do the turnaround
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing? It's like that. You see that 100 times by 100 different people. It doesn't make it better. Plus, the way I think about it, as long as it's not like I was posting the same photo again and again and again, or the same reel, but I like to switch it up because how I'm posting is I'm kind of trying to gauge, one, what do I like to do and what can I keep doing over and over again?
Yeah.
And also what kind of gets some traction. And with the traction thing, you can't really go on it because sometimes it's like a good day and you get more views, and then you're like, oh, this is the thing that I'm going to do. And then the next day you get like 10 views and you're like, oh, maybe it's not the thing. What did I do yesterday that was different? Like, right time, right place. I don't use hashtags anymore because I don't think they work.
Mm.
So I stopped doing that. My reach is not affected by that at all. And also, I'm on 5 different socials. So it's like I'm going to post everywhere. And I don't make new content for each social. So it's like, this is what I got.
Yeah.
I can't be like, all right, I'm going to post one thing and call it a day. And then I'm going to move on to the next piece, because I feel like with the photos, if you don't read the caption, which most people don't, because they just scroll by, which is cool. Everybody's doing their thing, but I appreciate the read. It's like I'm talking about the art and stuff, and then or the artist statement also is down there usually, and then with the reels, I'm vocally talking about them, and most people don't see stuff. So I have the artist easel one where I talk about the art, and then I have a slower paced full art one, and then sometimes I do like an indoor video as well that's a little bit longer, but it's kind of like I have to do all that to get the point across that I'm here for one thing, and also what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, and you seem to like find your system, and as long as it works for you and that you enjoy it and you're doing it for you, like then the rest. If someone's getting like quotations annoyed of the multiple posts, I mean, then obviously it's not the art for them, right? So then you would find the people that are really interested in that type of art that wouldn't be phased by 3 posts of the same type of art. So
Yeah, and the joke that I always say is if you don't want to see my art, all you have to do is follow me, because they only show my stuff to non-followers, and I've talked to a few artists, and that seems to be the case with like everybody, especially on Instagram. TikTok's the same way. I don't really get a lot of repeat, like my followers, I don't get a lot of engagement from them. And then what was the Facebook is just a dead zone to me. And then YouTube, I have no clue. Sometimes it's non-followers, sometimes people leave comments and they're like, oh, they follow me, and I've noticed them like a few times, but I don't really look at my followers list because I don't think it's as clear on there as it is on Instagram and stuff like that. But it's, yeah, I have to get my stuff. Everybody's got to get their stuff out there.
right. Well, and I think that's just the fact of finding your audience, because once you find your audience, then it doesn't bother them any because they get to see
Yeah,
your work.
they're following you for a reason, and hopefully it's for a good reason. It's not just like they followed you to get a follow back. That was a big thing when I started,
Oh yeah.
and then they would unfollow after you followed. It was like a whole like I don't want to play those games.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way, and honestly, I am only going to follow the people I'm actually interested in.
Yeah, as it should be. I think the thing when I first started, it was like you got to get out there, shake hands, and comment, and it works for getting followers. But the times have changed with that, and you should only be following people that you want to follow. You're not obligated. Only follow stuff you're in. If you're interested in art, follow art. If you're interested in music, follow music. But you don't have to follow things that you don't like, because I've had a lot of artists kind of like change their style of content, and sometimes it's just not for me. I'm into the art. I like the art. I'll watch process videos, finished art pieces, all that stuff. That's why I'm here. And then sometimes the shift changes, and life happens, and then all of a sudden they're like vlogging. They're travel vlogging. I'm not really into travel vlogging. So it's like, okay, are you going to post your art and stuff like that? So you got to decide. And you can't take it super personally. And it's very easy to do that because it's very hard on social to get seen. You don't have to be everybody's like thing.
Yeah.
There's just some things not made for you, or you just decide that. But it's not personal. It's not like you're in like a relationship with somebody and then they block you or unfollow you. It's not, I don't think it's that deep like 99% of the time. So it's just like, just do your thing and do it the best you can. And
Yeah. Well, and I feel like it's kind of like a marketing. I mean, nobody's going to apologize for marketing something that they believe in, right? So
yeah,
you believe in something, you're going to show it to the world, and some people are going to react to it, good or bad, or some people will not. And that's the way our world kind of runs now, is promoting, marketing, and showing it off, and hope we find the people that appreciate it along the way. So,
yeah. My whole philosophy with that is I'm a public page. I'm trying to show my art to as many people as I can. And some people just aren't going to get it. And I'm even more aware of that because I do jump around style wise.
yeah.
From series, like I go from the That's Art cartoony to the mixed media. I have an abstract series. I have a pop series. I'm trying to look around if I have any on my wall, but then I have like childlike series,
Yeah.
and I have 3 of them. I started posting one of them a long time ago, but I started it too early for the posting where I didn't flesh out what I was going on about, what I was talking about, what was I trying to say with this. So I kind of stopped. So I kind of put that on the back burner. But if you ever want to get hate comments, make childlike art, because they hate it. People hate it so much. And if you get one, especially on YouTube, if you get one trolling comment, everybody piles onto it. So if you don't want to see that stuff, you got to delete the comment as fast as possible, or everybody's going to show up, because it's like a little flag in the comments being like, "Hey, you can hate here." But I can take that, because I don't go around trolling. But I've read books that I have like 4 of them that I absolutely hate, but most of them are meh, they're good, but I don't want to read them again. So it's like I have to look at it like that I'm creating. I can't universally be loved for anything. I don't think anybody can. I mean, you can attempt it, but I don't think it'll work out.
Right.
But yeah, it's same books, movies, TV shows. There's just some things that are not made for me, and I just have to accept that.
Yeah.
And I have to go through the stuff that I consider good and bad to find out what I don't like, art wise, book wise, movie wise, and stuff like that. Where, okay, I like doing this, I don't like this. I like this part of this art, but I don't like this part. Let me try this. And that's how I started out doing art, where I started out with fluid pours because it looked like the easiest thing to do. Get some store brand art from Michael's or your art store, get some medium, put it in a cup, pour it on a thing, boom. And then after I got bored with that, I moved on to other stuff. But it was always like, okay, this artist from let's say like the 1940s thought this and tried this technique. So I was like, okay, let me try this technique. And I have no art background, so I couldn't copy what that artist was doing. So it was like, okay, I can't do that. Let me try it out and then try to make something out of it. And it's a
Right.
lot of trial and error. But I have to be like, some of this stuff, most of the stuff's not for me.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people have to do that. I can't take that away from other people. I'm a public page trying to do art, which is, subjective,
Yeah.
and will be critiqued. And I have to have a, stiff upper lip. I have to learn how to take a punch, kind
Yeah.
of thing. The following number doesn't count. A little, like with the reach and the engagement on the post, it's like, yeah, that can be a little like devastating and heartbreaking each day. But like the backlog helps with that, because it's like, all right, I did what I could and what I have. Like I said, you have to stiff upper lip. But the mentality of numbers game, and I don't like being seen as a number. I'm sure most people don't like being seen as a number. So it's like, if you're treating people like, hey, I got to get my follower count up, I'm just going to do the bare minimum, follow me kind of thing.
Yeah. Say what you told me earlier, that it isn't just about a numbers game, but it's to document your work.
That was a big change, because when I started, I was getting attention, and I never got attention. I would get like attention from family and stuff, but I never got like attention from strangers for doing something,
Yeah.
right? So I was very much like, I can make art and post it and people will like it. So that was the dopamine rush. Obviously, that was the whole business plan. They get you hooked on the dopamine.
Yeah.
So went through all that, posting every day, making something, posting something, which, like I said, I'm debating if it was like a good thing to do that or a bad thing, because I did get a lot done, and it was very fast learning with the art, because I was like, I got to make something. I was jumping from style to style because I was like really enthusiastic, and I hope I still am. I hope I did not lose that. And it went from that, and then Reels started, and then the algorithm changes, and now it is what it is now for, I think, myself and most artists that I talk to. They're not getting the swarm of engagement that they want, whatever that number is. It's a always moving goalpost, right?
Yeah.
Is 100 likes enough? Is 200, 300, 1,000? Like, where's the satisfaction
Right.
coming from? So they changed the algorithm, and it was worse. I think last year I was getting single digits for everything I posted. It was just me, myself. And I had to really question, am I happy doing this on social if I'm not getting the attention? I love making the art. I want to do that every day. If I don't do that every day, I get moody, right? Not like angry, but I'm
Yeah.
cranky.
No, I do too.
I get little like withdrawal from making stuff. So I have to do something at least once a day. And the incentive for a while, because I jumped on social and I was getting attention, it was I'm making stuff to post stuff to get this validation or attention from accounts. And some of the people I knew, I met on there and you became friends and stuff. Other people were just like acquaintances, like passing by. I know your page, you know my page, kind
Yeah.
of thing. But I was posting and getting that. So I really had to take a look at, was I creating? I was creating stuff for me and I really enjoyed it. But the end goal was always to get something from other people.
Right.
And that went away. That completely disappeared. And I think that happened for a lot of artists when they switched to Reels and now they look like TikTok. I'm sure if I started on TikTok, I would have like a different outlook on this because I would have already been doing the videos. But a lot of artists didn't want to do the Reels.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of kickback with that. And then the algorithm changed. It's like, I'm not getting views. So I've known a lot of people that I've talked to and they don't do anything on social anymore. And I hope they're living their best life and they're happy and healthier and have an attention span. But I was like, okay, that went away. I'm still making the art, but I'm not getting likes or anything. And sure as hell not selling anything because I'm not getting seen by anybody.
Right.
And I had to look at like, okay, instead of posting for that, it started out as like a challenge. I'm going to do a larger series of like 50 pieces in a series and have them all look like if you walked into a room and all these pieces were on the wall, it looked like the same artist made them. Because my stuff was all over the place from abstract to pop to collage. And each day was like a different style. And I was like, okay, let me try to do 50 of those. And I did that. And then I was like, okay, I have all this stuff and I have to do a reel. I'm talking. So let me do a photo post. And I'm still not getting views. But it became more, since I started doing larger series, it was like, oh, I did this. Let me, for myself, and everybody's invited, let me show that I did this. And let me have it here and it's on all of my socials. So it became more like, the views are great. They're awesome when they show up and I appreciate all the engagement and stuff. But it became more like, I'm going to finish something and complete it and then post it and then get the validation from being like, okay, I did that. And that also with like how I keep track of all that with index cards, where I have all the pieces numbered in the series and I have multiple index cards of what I'm posting, like photos or reels, the real talk, the art talk videos, or the artist easel videos where I'm talking, or if I'm doing something inside, I have all those. And to show the progress on that for my own satisfaction, it's like, okay, I posted number one on this one and I write the number one on the postcard. So then it's done. So I can keep track of that. But it's also showing that I'm actually moving forward. Because that was the other issue I was having with social. I don't really feel like I'm progressing, even though I've posted so much. It's like, I don't feel like I'm moving forward. The numbers aren't going up in the follower count. Every time I open up an app, the numbers are right there, always the same, or they go down. So it's like, okay, let me switch that and become documenting what I'm doing. I think I should be doing more works in progress because that would make more sense with the document style where I'm going to document every single thing I'm doing. But I'm trying to figure out how to works in progress and kind of do it my way where I'm comfortable with it and I'm actually doing my best work.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like the teacher is standing over my shoulder and I'm like, I can't think right. And I got to look at the timer to make sure I don't go over time. And then if I go over time, I have to edit. And I'm not really a big fan of that. So it's like, let me document everything I finished so that everybody can see it. Everybody's invited. And I try to present it the best I can, but also to document it for myself to feel self accomplishment. Because if I didn't have that, that's one of the benefits I think with social. As much as I can complain about it with the algorithm and what they're doing constantly and what they're adding, if I didn't have it, I would be making art and I would be putting it in the other room in a storage container, and then I would never look at it again. And I would never write an artist statement. I would never write about what the art pieces were about unless I was somehow lucky enough to get into a gallery or something like that. Then I would have to write those. But it became a challenge. I'm going to do this many pieces. I'm going to write a caption with each piece. Some captions are more challenging than others. With like the that's art captions are pretty easy because I like the storytelling aspect with like Kelly and stuff. But then other pieces, it's like, okay, what do I say here? And then like artist statements, I was like, I've never written an artist statement before. Well, let me try writing one of those out. So start making little challenges for myself to keep things fun
And moving forward.
And always I have a tendency to set the bar a little bit too high, but I feel like that's a good thing sometimes because I push myself to reach that, but I always fall short. Like there's some series where I'm like, I'm gonna do 100 pieces of this, and I get into it and I'm like 15 in and I'm like, I'm not having fun at all. So this is gonna be a 30-piece series or a 20-piece series. So some series click, some series are like, this is super fun, I'm gonna do a bunch of these, and other pieces are like, I'm not feeling this at all. I get real excited at the start, and then once I get going and I figure out what I'm doing with the series, I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, I'm not going to do 50 of these.
Yeah.
There's no way. But some are more fun than others, and I like to experiment. Like, that's the fun part, is the beginning, the thinking about it and like figuring it out. It's a puzzle.
I do like that as well. I tend to love my brainstorm sessions.
It's the best. And the research, I love the research part. And I'm not like looking to like understand everything about like an art movement that I look up on in Google or in a book or whatever. Is I'm looking for something like something to spark something. Sounds very romantic. Like I'm waiting for like the moment
Yeah, yeah.
where everything just comes together. But usually, in my experience with coming up with an art series, it's not like this eureka like fell out of the sky. Like it's usually like five or more things like all like happened at certain times. It's like my personality, something happened in the past, I ran into this, I read this, I watched this, I'm interested in trying this, let me figure out how they did this kind of thing, this technique, and then it's all like mushed together, and then it evolves.
So let's talk about that a little bit more. Why'd you call it That's Art?
Because art is confusing. And no, it started out just multiple things. I don't go to a lot of art galleries. I'm in the middle of nowhere in Western Massachusetts. So when I do go to a museum, it's a rare occasion. So I wanted to kind of take my interest in looking up art history stuff, which I used to do a lot more when I first started doing art, which I would like to get back into. But it's kind of like my way of like exploring, because sometimes I'm doing cartoony drawings of famous art, and sometimes most of the stuff is my stuff that I'm putting into the art, and then the criticism of art as well, which I do think is kind of important. But I'm kind of going in at it with like a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing, not going after like one art style or anything like that. So kind of going after everything, including the stuff that I do that is not in that series.
So is it just to showcase that even though we all create, it doesn't mean that all of us are going to understand what we create?
Yeah, I think it's that, and it's also like you don't have to like everything. Like there's just some stuff that's just not made for me. Whether in art, books, movies, there's just some stuff that isn't. It's also kind of what happened was my sister took an art class in college, so she thinks she knows everything about art. I love her, but she thinks she knows everything about art, and she doesn't really like some of my stuff, I don't think. And she said something about that one day, so it's kind of like my way of, instead of beating myself up about my art, I kind of turned it into a thing. Instead of being like, oh well, my art sucks, let me just make this. And it started out as a joke because she doesn't like it, I still have it. The first That's Art that I made was an acrylic painting. It was Kelly's the blonde,
Mm-hmm.
the cartoon character. and she's looking at, and I copied my sister's college drawing. So it was kind of, that's how it started. Like, okay, you made fun of my art. I'm gonna poke back at you, kind of thing.
Yeah, sister and brotherly love. I get it.
Yeah, we get along great. She moves far, like 3,000 miles away, and we've never got along better. It's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, it started as that, and I've always liked panel comics in the newspapers, and I consider the That's Art to be like a one panel comic strip. It's more about looking at the art and going to art galleries and deciding, like, okay, do I like this? Do I not like this? Because there's some art that I like when I go to a museum or something, and then there's other art that I'm like, okay, it doesn't really, I don't get it, kind of thing. And I think that happens with most people, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't make that. So if I do That's Art with like abstract or something like that, I'm not going after abstract artists or anything like that. It's more playfulness. Like, I'm serious about my art, but I would like to have fun with it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I've done abstract art, I've done collage. So everything that shows up in the That's Art is either a branch of another art series that I've done, or like I said, the art history books and stuff that I sometimes go through looking for stuff. And then it's like, all right, let me try to draw that in kind of like a cartoony, because I also like cartoons. It's influenced by that as well. I don't think they make cartoons like they did when I was growing up. So I'm that cranky guy who's like, things were better when I was younger.
Yeah. But I think that's a good message though, that showing no matter what kind of art you make, you should still go for it. You should still create, because not everybody's going to understand your art and not everybody's going to like your art, and that's okay. But
Yeah,
there's going to be a wide variety of people that will like your art and will understand it. But as an artist, I mean, putting your thoughts and emotions and vulnerability onto paper is a hard thing to do. So naturally not everybody's going to understand you. You are going to feel somewhat misunderstood at times.
100%. And you kind of just have to throw your hat in the ring and figure out what works for you. I would like to clarify though, That's Art, there is one series that it is intentionally kind of poking fun at, because I don't like the art style. Just in case anybody goes to my page and sees it, because I am still posting it because I made so many of them. I made this animation to try to figure out animation, and it is Kelly looking at AI art.
Oh
So
yeah.
I wanted
Okay.
to point that out. That is one. I'm never selling those as like a NFT or anything like that. So it was just made because AI just came out, and I was like, everybody was hyped up about it, and I was like, it's the most boring thing I've ever done. It was soul crushing, and I know it comes with a lot of other issues, obviously, and I'm against those too, with the taking away the jobs and the content that you see on social. But that was 2023 when I made that, and making Kelly move and trying to figure that out. It's not the best animation. I'm trying my best here, guys. But trying to learn that was good. And I think a lot of people confuse that because I wrote it in the caption of like, it's half like AI, and I'm not taking credit. I'm very transparent with the materials I use in my art and stuff, especially with something that comes with that much stuff that I disagree with. But I felt that with the That's Art, if Kelly is going to go to art galleries, and I want her to go to art galleries and look at a lot of different art, I don't think AI art is art, but it is showing up in galleries and museums. And I don't like that. I would like to say that, but it's kind of like, all right, I can't avoid this if I'm going to hit everything in this series. But that would be the only one. It was boring to make and not fun at all. And obviously, all the ethical issues with it. And that's why they're not for sale. So I just wanted to clarify that with talking about That's Art, because it is something on my page.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I just didn't want people to come to my page and see that and be like, "Wait a minute."
Wait a minute.
He said he's making art with all kinds, and now he's got this. But I find people don't read the captions too much, and I do like doing longer captions, but because I've had people call me out on that, and I was like, I wrote it in the caption. I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't talk over those. I do voiceovers if you haven't seen my page before. where I talk over like my art, talking about my art. I don't do that with the digital one.
I see. Yeah. So I'm very curious on how you came up with your character Kelly, like where her name came from and the fact that you chose a certain design for her. How'd you go about creating that character for the series?
Originally, it started out as I was going through a pop art phase
Ah, I see. Okay.
where I was looking at Roy Lichtenstein. And like I said earlier, I am influenced by comic and stuff. So I was basically, it didn't start out as the Kelly character. It originally started out as just like character, like the back of a character's head. It didn't have Kelly's hair shape and stuff. It was much uh, bigger and more, I would say, complex, where I couldn't copy this continuously. So it kind of took a lot of time in a sketchbook to kind of like, okay, I like that. I like this thing. Let me try this out. And then it was like, okay, I don't want just the head. I want it to feel like an actual character. So then add the shoulders and then add the dress so I can have some color differences in each one. She's got blonde hair, and then she's got the dress, and then she's got the sash or the strap. It's supposed to be a pocketbook kind of thing, but thicker. So it kind of differentiates each piece from each other. It's not just like, here's a blonde head looking at an art piece.
Yeah.
So that took a lot of sketching. And I think the first series I did with her, like full series, was in 2022. And it doesn't have that, what would you call it? I don't even know what it's called. The anger marks on her head.
Oh, yeah.
You
Okay.
know, that came from anime watching.
Oh, okay.
Because I was watching anime. I'm not big on it, but I dabble. Uh, but I saw that and I was like, oh, I can add like an emotion. Because she's thinking that's art. When she's looking at the art, she's confused or angry or frustrated because she doesn't understand what she's looking at, kind of thing. So it came from a lot of sketching, and it took a lot of trial and error, which I think most art does. It was not fast. The idea was there, but it took a lot. Like, okay, I'm doing this, and then okay, I want her head shape to be like this, and the swoop here that's on the left side of her hair, kind of thing. Like, okay, I wanted to add that because there was nothing there, and her hair looked weird if it was just a shell.
Oh,
Kind of
like
looks like a mushroom at
oh,
the
okay.
start.
Okay.
It didn't have any like
Volume?
volume, and it didn't feel cartoony enough. It felt like I drew a stick figure and then I just like colored it blonde on top, and that's it. So I wanted some more cartoony kind of thing, because it doesn't have to be realistic, you know.
Right.
Because Kelly's hair, if you think about it, it doesn't, it makes sense. I
No, but
guess.
it does make sense in the fact that you said that you like the comic strip kind of style that you're leaning towards, and I
Mhm.
think of a comic strip when I look at your cards.
Yeah, and thank you for noticing. I wanted a more cartoony look to it. I wanted, because I didn't want to go a route where I was drawing a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Because like Kelly, I want, sometimes she looks different. It depends on the day, because sometimes my line work sucks, and it's her head shape changes. But we all have bad hair days.
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like I do.
yeah, yeah. So I wanted to, give her some personality, and that the captions that I do, I think I try to add more personality to her. But I look at it as like a one panel comic kind of thing, and cartoony style. Because even when I'm doing some of the pieces where I'm using like something like a famous art piece, I don't want to do a line for line.
Oh, yeah.
I want it to be cartoony. I don't want to, not saying I'm like opposed to details, but I want it to feel like, a cartoon
Like
kind of
it's
thing.
part of the scene. Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the scene. Not that I'm opposed to using like collage and stuff with that's art, but if I'm drawing something, I would rather have it like a cartoon. I'm not really, at the moment. It could change in, in my art life, but I'm not really aiming for super realism or hyper realism at this point. I like and I think each series that I do, kind of, I hope they all look like I made it,
Yeah.
but I don't want them all to look the same, if that makes sense.
True. Yeah, you want that variation.
But I also feel like each series that I do, sometimes it's like, okay, I did this series and then I take what I learned with this series and I kind of try it in a different way and I kind of get something different kind of thing. Because I tried being like a niche artist, like this is my one thing. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm just going to do that's art with Kelly. And I tried doing that. And then I started getting ideas for other series. And I was like, okay, am I going to do that series and just like put Kelly on the piece kind of thing, which I have. I don't think I've posted it. I may have posted some works in progress videos, but there is non-cartoony kind of that's art
Yeah.
where I did like a collage and then I made a paper cutout of Kelly and I pasted her on it
Oh, okay.
kind of thing. I probably going to post that one probably next year. I try to do at least one that's art series a year
Yeah.
because I think that's what I'm mainly known for, but I don't want to just do that because I would probably lose my mind.
Just mixing it up is all. That's what I need. I'm the type of person like, yeah, I'm not very good at sticking with one medium, to be honest with you. So I'm the person that's like, yeah, please do a bunch of different things.
Yeah, it's I try to do I do larger series most of the time. It's like above 50 pieces just because I want to get the idea out as best I can. I don't want to like stop and then be like, well, I could have done more with it.
Hmm.
I should have kept going. Uh, I think it's like refreshing and it's kind of like exhilarating because there's kind of like that. I wouldn't say like an existential crisis. It's not. I don't know if it's that bad, but it's like, okay, I finished a series. I've done it for a while, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna do a new series that has nothing to do with this, or like something completely different mediums, and I'm like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And there's always that urge to fall back on stuff that I did before with like collaging and stuff. I've done 3 collage series. I will be posting one after I finish the trading card series that I'm doing now. But I tried doing a 4th one and I found that it kept looking like a previous series. So I took that as a sign of like walking away from collage for a while because I just felt like I was just copycatting myself
Mm, okay.
kind of thing. So it was like, okay, I've done everything I wanted to do right now with that medium and to move on to the next medium. So I did, instead of doing the collage, I did a ponytail series because I just wanted to draw a ponytail because I've been trying to do that for a while. And I tried to make it cartoony, but with more details, but still have that cartoony kind of thing. I don't know if I got what I wanted out of it,
Oh, okay.
which happens a lot. And I feel and I don't know if it's the same for you, where if you do like a bunch of art pieces, it's like, okay, I did exactly what I wanted to do and I'm satisfied.
So I feel like as artists, we're all our worst critics, and we're always like trying to strive for better. And so I feel like I have a certain expectation of what I want it to turn out to be, and so it's I think I don't know if I would necessarily say 50-50, but I definitely dabble back and forth between, yes, I'm happy and I'm satisfied with the outcome of this piece, and then there's pieces where I'm like, I don't want to look at that piece like ever
And
again. So
100%, I'm in the same boat. When I finish a series, I've spent probably, if I'm doing a larger series, like I said, above 50, I'm probably spending like 2, 3 months just working on that
Mhm.
in my free time. And when I'm deciding I'm done with it, which is another kind of like tricky thing, am I actually done with it or am I just having like a bored day? Am I
Yeah.
just bored with it today? Is that the mood? So I kind of have to test that, kind of push past that. And then I'm like, okay, finally, I'm done. I've done everything I wanted to do, or I think I wanted to do. And then I don't want to look at it for like 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I have containers. Well, some of them I do have to look because if they're larger, I don't have a container that big, so they have to go on a wall somewhere. I don't have space, so it's a lot of maneuvering and everything. It's kind of like a lot of like my room right here that I'm in right now. I call it like a French salon. It was like basically like a bunch of art pieces covering the entire wall, like different sizes and stuff.
Oh, I guess yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the Springfield Science Museum, which is about 30 minutes away from me, and they have two art buildings. And the art building that this couple basically collected a bunch of art from all over the world. So their collection is there, and there's a room there that's basically like a French salon. It's got landscape, portraits, and all this other stuff.
That's really cool.
So I was kind of influenced by that out of going there, and also because I lack the space for stuff. So it's like a mixture of my art hanging that does not fit in a storage container bin, like the big ones, because that's what a lot of them are in. And then it's other stuff that I found at like tag sales, yard sales, or estate sales.
Yeah.
Which I was going a lot of those because I was like, okay, I'm going to do a series where all the canvases or panel that I use, it's secondhand
Oh, okay. Yeah.
kind of stuff. I did that, learned a lot. Never, if you ever do find canvas out there, make sure it's the cotton canvas and not the cheap nylon
Oh, okay.
canvas that you would buy from like a print with something on it from like at Michael's or Walmart. If you try to do anything with it, it will sag, and
Oh,
there's no way to retighten it.
yeah.
So I tried collaging on it, and then I'm like, why is there like large dimples on this art piece? And you learn. It's a lot of trial and error. So I've had a lot of experiences like that with art. That the nylon one was probably one of the bigger ones, and also spray varnishing took a lot to learn what to use, what not to use, and how much to put on, because I have messed up plenty of art pieces spraying too much varnish on, and
Yeah.
some of the varnish, it gets cloudy, especially if it's matte. I kind of moved to satin, but if you use matte, it clouds up the glossiness. If you spray too much on, your art piece is going to have like a frosty kind of look to it.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So a
like my
lot of,
mats, but I use Mod Podge right now instead of like a spray. But even then, with I've noticed that even with putting Mod Podge on, you have to be careful with how much you put on as well. So it's just like you said. I feel like with just being an artist in general, it's all trial and error, just figuring out what works for you and what doesn't.
everything is mediums, how to do like an art series or whatever you're doing, drawing. You learn more by your mistakes. It includes social media on there too, if you are a artist who does that. Um, I hope you have a lot of strength. It's a lot of it's a lot of days of trials,
Yes. Yes.
but you go in with a plan kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't tried the indoor, like not the indoor. I do most of all of my spray varnishing is obviously outside. I can't do that inside. So I haven't used the like the Mod Podge or the Liquitex varnishes, the liquid ones.
Yeah.
Because most of my stuff, I do think I may have a series or two of just like acrylic paint, but most of my stuff is mixed medium. So I'm using a lot of charcoal and dry mediums, and I can't take a brush over that unless I put fixative on it.
Yeah.
And I can't spray the fixative because I can't go outside because it's winter. So I think that's the other thing too. When I do a series, there's a lot of like groundwork that I'm making the stuff, and it's never going to be seen by anybody, and I think that's a good thing. And I know I just talked about like the document your stuff thing, but I do like the private time with the art where it's just me and the art. I'm not hearing any outside voices,
Yeah.
and I'm not posting it and somebody's going to tell me I suck or that's a dumb idea. It's just me, and I'm figuring it out and hopefully having fun. Sometimes it's a little frustrating. Sometimes there's like these like, what am I doing?
Yeah. But I think as creatives, we need that though. We need that time to ourselves to really work through those thoughts. Otherwise, they're like too distracted by outside influences. You get inspired and you find things that you like and don't like, and then you're like, well, I'm going to take all the things I like and put it into this idea. And yeah, sometimes it doesn't work at all, and you're like, oh, that one
Yeah,
didn't.
I've wasted a ton of material. What have I done?
It didn't work the way I thought, but there are those beautiful moments of when it does, and you're like, I'm so glad that I tried that out, because like otherwise
Yeah.
I would have never guessed. I would have never known.
Yeah. Most of my series have been like that, where it's like, okay, that was like if I had like canvas and the art piece, you can go over the canvas again. I've collaged over pieces where I'm like, yeah, that did not work out,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to be like throw the canvas out. I don't want to do that. I don't want to waste like material
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a lot of this like, oh, what happened here kind of
Yeah.
thing. And that it's the same thing with like the stuff I engage with like I need that quiet time to make the art. I can't do it under the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
I could paint on like a live or do drawing on a live, and I've done that before, but it's usually not in the beginning process.
Right. Unnecessary pressure. So.
It sounds like it could be interesting though after I said it, so it may be something. Just a video log of like 3-minute videos of me going through existential crises, and then I figure it out.
Yeah, you
So
never know.
in the document style, like it's more. I just think it's healthier because it's like I'm still posting and inviting everybody in, but it's the secondary. It's the after effect of the creating.
Yeah.
But yeah, the experimenting part is the best. The looking up stuff. I love books. I love music, TV shows, and movies. I like, but I'm kind of in like a mood right now where I'm not really into them too much. And the books help tremendously with the attention span because I have struggled with that in the past, and it's an uphill battle once you lose the attention span. I used to be able to focus, and then I got a smartphone, and now I have a lockbox for my smartphone.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a like, the phone is great, and I've met a lot of cool people. I'm on this podcast now because of it, but it has its downsides, and
Oh yeah.
I was very addicted, and it goes back to how I was like, I got on art, started to get attention, and it was like, okay, I'm reading books, I'm watching movies, which help with the art ideas because I'm engaging with art, I need to do that. And then it was like, okay, well, a book takes a long time to read. If I spend more time on social, I'll get more followers. So let me drop reading books, and then let me drop movies. And then there came a point where it was like all my free time was I make an art piece, and then I'm on social the rest of my free time, just commenting and, trying to network kind
Yeah.
of thing in that way. And it damaged my attention span. And if I don't have my attention span, I can't make art.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to make a large art series when every 5 minutes I'm like, let me check my phone. Let me go wander off. I'm bored. Let me go do something, and not sticking to it. And books have been probably the best thing
Yeah.
to kind of counter that, and use your local library because they're awesome. So.
Yeah, it's so funny because I used to have a library card back when I was in school, like high school.
Mhm.
And then it'd been all this time where I was like, I kept talking about, oh, I wish I read more. I wish I read more, but I don't have the time. I can't do this. I can't do that. And then last year, I was like, okay, I'm going to make it a goal to read 12 books, one book per month. And I didn't end up making that goal. I only read one book for the whole entire year. But what I did learn starting this year is I joined kind of like a friend group book club kind of thing. And that definitely helped because it got me out of my comfort zone. Because back in school, you read the books that you're kind of assigned to, right? But outside of school, I was like, I don't know what kind of books I'm interested in. So many people ask me, like, oh, well, what kind of books do you like to read? I'm like, to be honest with you, I have no idea because I haven't spent enough time to figure that out. And so I was like, well, by joining a book club, it kind of helps me get out of my comfort zone and have me read books that I not necessarily would have picked for myself or I would have never heard about unless, someone suggested it. So that kind of helped me get out of my zone of like not finding time to read. I was like, oh, well, now I have a book that I can read and talk about with other people, and we either like it or we don't like it. And I've read like 15 books this year. And I'm so proud of myself for it
Good
because
job.
I know I'm like patting
Woo!
myself on the back because I really did want to read more. I just didn't know what to read. And so I feel like, and I also this year got a library card because it helped me sign out the books that were suggested from the book club, but I was like, I'm not going to buy every single book. I
Yeah,
don't
they're
have,
expensive.
yeah. And you also, lack of space too. It's like,
Yeah,
where am I going to put them all?
I'm struggling with that with books right now. So
Right. Yeah. So I started buying them at first at the beginning of the book club, and I was like, this is not
yeah,
gonna sustainable. so,
yeah, yeah.
so
Let me know if I like the book first, and then I'll.
yeah.
That's my rule. I have to
Right.
like want to reread it,
Right.
and then I'll get it.
So now I'm at the point where I'm doing the library card and like physical books, and I also use the audio. What is it called? Libby
Hoopla.
and Oopla. Yeah, both of
Yeah,
them.
Hoopla. Yeah,
Yeah, Hoopla and Libby I both use for the audiobook. And so I've just, I guess what I'm trying to say through all this is I also encourage the reading because it does definitely help you get out of your mind. It also gets you disconnect from social media or just
yeah.
technology in general. Like
It's a
I
very big part.
yeah, well, and I was getting to the point where I was on the computer or I was watching TV or I was on my phone. So either way, at one point or another, I was always on a screen, small,
Yeah.
big, large,
Same.
whatever.
Yep.
And part of the reason I like reading so much is because I actually really like reading the physical book. And part of it is because just the oval nostalgia of flipping a page and just showing the progress of how far you've gotten in a book and being able to have my bookmark that I've created or, bought. And I can, I don't know, flip the page and it just feels good. But then there's also a huge part of me that chooses to read from a book and not a tablet because of the screen time. I'm like, it
Yeah.
actually forces me not to look at a screen, which is so nice.
I actually have a bookmark right here. Actually, uh, I got it from Barnes and Noble. When I got the lockbox for my phone, so I was very much into like, how do I break this? Like, I don't want to look at my phone. It makes it very hard, actually, because I post in the morning and that boredom slips in, and I'm like, oh, maybe I got some likes.
Yeah.
Maybe I got a comment. Let me check my DMs. And every time I go on there, I'm disappointed. But I keep going back. It's a bad relationship.
It is.
Okay, so I got this bookmark. It's been 4 chapters since I checked my phone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's by, I don't know who it by. It doesn't say. But yeah, it's got like a hand holding a phone too, which I don't like because you look at it and you're like, oh, I have a phone.
It kind of makes you think about it.
Yeah, so I don't know why they put that. I may put tape on that now that I actually looked at it. But yeah, it's that, and I was very big on breaking the habit and that screen time thing. It's like if I want to watch, that's kind of why I don't watch as much movie or TV shows because I'm editing, I post, I try not to doom scroll. Really hard not to doom scroll, but I've been doing it because I had a head cold last week, so I was just in bed and I was like, oh, let me check the phone.
Right.
And I have no idea what I watched. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but with the screen time, it's I don't know. It's I feel like not brain well maybe brain fog sometimes, but it just I don't feel as like energetic.
I feel like brain fog is a really good explanation. Brain fog is like I I like that because it's not that I'm not capable of thinking about other things. It's just it's so foggy. It's like this gray film
It
over my head. Like
Yeah, and
it's
it's very hyper focused on like the phone, social, social, social. I did something on social. Let me check it. Let me do
and the
that. Oh, I could have done
dopamine.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even about the dopamine anymore. It's actually I look at it as like reading about like addiction and stuff. The dopamine when it happened it was nice, but it's the anticipation now.
Yeah.
I'm posting this could get a lot of views. They always talk about it. They push that. All the gurus do. It's like a lottery. You're one post away from changing your life. And some people that has worked for, but the rest, it's like scratching the lottery ticket.
Yeah.
99% of us are just grinding away,
Yep.
trying to figure our stuff out. And,
Well, and somehow I feel more disconnected with social media than I do without it. So it's
yeah.
like, I figure
Okay.
that one out.
Okay. So if you don't have it, you're a little like,
I just feel so much better. Like I'm
oh,
more
yeah.
apt to get out of the house. I'm more apt to go do things, like go for walks and stuff. But when I'm on social media, I'm like, oh, live vicariously through other people on
If
social
I
media.
spend more time on this app, my dreams will come true. It's a useful thing. It is a useful tool, and you can meet cool people, you can meet awful people, but you can meet cool people and you can showcase your thing.
Yeah.
Your whatever your thing is. But you have to, and this sounds like a cliche thing, and I know the word's like overdone, but you have to have boundaries
Right.
with it. You have to be like, I am doing this, and then after I am done doing all this, I am not checking the phone until later, much later in the day.
Yeah.
I do not, there is nothing happening on social where I need to know what's going on 30 minutes from now.
Right.
Unless something horrifying happened and I need to know immediately. But um, that's never going to happen. I don't think that's ever going to be the case.
Yeah.
There's no comment that I've gotten on any of my posts that I need to run there right now and answer it.
Yeah.
So it's all about time blocking. Like, I usually do all my stuff in the morning. I've tried in the afternoon, but I'm usually tired. But and then I don't do my best stuff, and then I kind of like just whatever. It's the attitude in the afternoon. But I try to do my stuff in the morning, and I don't check anything like after 5 p.m. I last like I check around maybe in the afternoon, like in the DMs or whatever, if I'm talking to somebody. Um, but comments and stuff, that's purely for the morning. There is no comment that I could possibly get right now that cannot wait until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because there's always like this urge to be like, somebody commented 20 seconds, I got to get there and thank you.
Right. I know,
But
right?
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you for noticing me. I'll, it's I appreciate the comments, and yeah, it's just you have to have boundaries, and it took a while for me to do that because, like I said, I was on my phone all the time,
Yeah.
and I was engaging, commenting, answering comments, and posting, and all this stuff, and the world has changed, and you just have to create like a time schedule.
Yeah.
And it's just one of the most helpful things.
Well, and I feel like boundaries is a huge thing for a lot of avenues of our life. Like, that is
Yeah.
just, we're learning as we get older that boundaries is like important and necessary. And it's not to say that we're nitpicking or stubborn or anything. It's just we have to have those boundaries, otherwise we go a little insane. Because
Yeah. And a lot of times with boundaries, it's usually only targeting like, I have boundaries with this person. You should have boundaries with people, and each relationship. But we don't really. I rarely hear it about technology, TV, movie watching, streaming, anything like that.
yeah.
You rarely hear like, I'm setting boundaries with my, I don't know, my PS4.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's never that. I think the other thing with social, like, it chips away at other things. Because, like I said, it's like, oh, if I spend more time here, I'll get more engagement because that's what I'm told.
Right.
And I'm sure that works because I've done it before, and you do get views and stuff. But once you stop doing that, it flatlines
Yeah.
again,
Right. Exactly.
in my experience. But I'm like, well, I'm not going to read. I'm not going to, relax and play like 30 minutes of a video game. I'm not going to watch a movie. I'm not going to watch a TV show because I could be on social. If I'm not on social, I'm missing out. I'm not going to make it. I'm going to fail miserably because I'm not on this thing. And that's the business model. And like I said, at the same time, there are good benefits from it. I've traded with people all over the world. I've talked to cool people. I've seen people's art. They've seen my art. So there is like this good thing about it, but it's really about what you make of it.
Yeah.
So this is my rant about social media. You're welcome.
So all this content's been super helpful, RJ, and it gives a perspective. And so I guess my final question for you would be, what words of wisdom would you want to pass on to aspiring artists or people that want to be creative in any stage of their journey? What would be the quote on your plaque for aspiring artists?
Protect your attention span at all costs.
I like that.
I would also say, in like non-quote form, experiment. Never stop experimenting. with mediums, never feel it's very easy to fall into the trap of this is my style, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life, and this is the only way I'm going to make money. And you can take this with a grain of salt because I'm not making the big bank over here with my stuff, but it's if you feel like you want to create something and it's not your usual stuff, it is okay to venture on a new path while also continuing your old stuff. You do not have to be like, okay, I do this style. If I post something, especially on social, outside of social, you can experiment all you want. Nobody's really going to see it unless you show it in person. But on social, there is a big trap of being like, if I try a new art style or if I try this idea and it's nothing like my old stuff, people are going to reject it, unfollow in masses, and stuff like that. And I don't think that's the case. More about showing your idea and capturing what you're thinking about or going through or feeling at this moment that's important. And once you post your series, how many ever it is, or one piece or whatever, you can move on to the next thing. You don't have to feel like you're stuck. Because that was one of the biggest issues that I had when I tried to like niche down. Like it was always like I was always told you got to find your style. You're an
Yeah.
artist. You got to find your style. And I'm like, I have so many ideas. Some of them are not all going to be wins.
Oh
And
my gosh.
you have to accept that too.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. They're just not going to be wins. But I just have to accept that some of my stuff is going to be more popular. It's the same way I look at like authors. There's always or music albums. Like not everything an artist puts out is going to be the greatest thing.
Yeah.
You
There's
know,
like 3 or 4 songs out of the whole album that I really love, and then the other ones are
yeah,
okay.
you're like filler.
Yeah. I would totally agree with you, seriously, because like for the longest time, especially my younger years, I was so focused on everybody telling me, "Oh, you need a niche, you need a niche, you
Yeah,
need to
oh,
pick
it's
one
awful.
and just stick with it." And I'm like, "But that's not how my brain functions. I don't work that way. I don't process things that way. I have to be able to explore different avenues and different mediums and
And life happens,
yeah.
and like I can imagine doing like the that's art
Yeah.
every day, which is what I was doing. But what was happening was it became unfun, and I was like, oh no, if this becomes unfun, I don't want to do this.
Right,
And
exactly.
then I wouldn't do that. And I like doing that series, and I like doing a different series. But it helps me to go like I'm doing a that's art series, posting it now. Then I'm doing a collage series. My winter project is this very tiny, like comic strip style pencil and colored pencil drawing. I need that like break from the other stuff, and then I go back to that's art or collage and hopefully find something new. So
Yeah.
I would say protect your attention span, experiment, never stop experimenting. If you like reading books, read stuff, what you like, what you don't think you'll like, different genres, something, just because writing helps. Writing is most stuff, your captions, if you're into that stuff. Watch movies, TV shows that you like, try to, maybe get an idea of how to present your art in a different way. Capture the ideas that you have at the moment. Don't think that you're going to be able to do them a year from now.
Yeah. Don't hold off.
Yeah, do not just hit the ground running. You got an idea, figure out what you want the art to look like, run with it. Not like go fast or anything, but like enjoy your time with it, because you're probably just going to be making this one time or this series. That's how I look at it. I'm making this series one time. I better enjoy it because I'm probably not going to be able to repeat what I did a year from now. I had that issue with one of my art series. Oh, the Melancholia one, where I did one of them. It's hanging on my wall, and I'm like, all right, that's what I want it to look like, and then I could never copy it.
Yeah. Because you're not in the same headspace when you're, a year later.
And looking at the past series, I was like trying to copy how it looked. This feels so weird. Like I'm trying to copy what I did, but somehow I forgot what I did.
Yeah. Right.
and it trying to copy what I did. And I was like, okay, I use this material. I'm trying to do like art forensics, being like, all right, that's charcoal.
Yeah.
That's this brand. No, it's not that brand. It's this brand. Is that spray paint? When did I have spray paint? Like I don't know what, like some of the pieces have spray paint on it. I don't remember having spray paint because I've never
Nice.
really used that, but there is. I don't know what happened there. So never stop experimenting. Protect your attention span at all costs. Don't be so hard on yourself. Learn how to take a punch and try to find your people. And if you can't find your people, keep posting, and eventually your people will show up. And just, you do not have to be hitting the gas all the time on social media. Also, get a backlog. I have a lot to say on this. You are in charge of your bubble, your little footprint on social, and don't let other people dictate what you should be doing. I would say make the art come first, though. Social is secondary. If you have to, what helps me with the art is don't make something and then post it right away. Like put it in another room and don't look at it for a few weeks and then come back to it and be like, all right, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Because I've had that I've had art pieces where I've been like, oh, what was I thinking? Why did I do that? And then there's other pieces where I was like, all right, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, that's not
But I
bad.
didn't feel that after I finished it because I was in the I got to finish this series mode before I move on to another project.
Yeah.
I had a lot of advice to give right there.
Hey, that's okay. I mean, like, I
Okay.
think it's a good thing because, I mean, I agree with everything that you said. I mean, it's there's a lot of pressure on artists right now
Yeah.
regarding a lot of topics, and I think that we covered a lot of them, honestly, but there is some more that I wanted to talk to you about, so we might have to have a part two.
Okay. Yeah, I do have more to say. I want to put this on this one for somebody listening to it. The main thing is make stuff that you like and have your personality on it, because the way that the culture is right now and the AI bubble, it is so important that individuals making art, real people, are themselves.
Right. Yeah.
So put your footprint on it. You do not have to be perfect. Do the best you can and you'll grow. You'll get it in the next series or the next series, or 10 years from now. You'll be better than you were now. So there's always that moving goalpost of perfection, but put your personality on it. Personality, 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 because the AI stuff cannot have a human personality. It can pretend to be, but it cannot do it all the time consistently and change. It'll stick to a same whatever it's programmed to do.
Yeah, it's code.
Yeah, but as a human, you're going through a bunch of stuff in your life daily, weekly. Stress, no stress, calm, happy moments, sad moments. You have all that. So don't think that the AI and all the stuff that they're pushing on you can replace you as a person and an artist.
The imperfect can be perfect.
Yeah, I think it makes everything's trying to be polished,
Yeah.
and it's nice. Like it would be cool to make polished, super clean art, and sometimes I do, but I think it's more about the personality and who you are and the idea that you're trying to capture, the idea of the feeling, and you can't let anything stop you from making what you want to make. I'm going to share my idea, how I want to, with my personality. So I think that's a big thing. Do not lose your personality and do not think you have to be something you're not.
Right.
So that's basically what I think is healthy and what artists should be doing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Well, I'm so happy that you were able to talk with me today.
I appreciate you having me on.
Yes, thanks,
Thank you
RJ.
for asking me.
Yeah, well, and I do plan to share RJ's obviously social media and all contact information, and he also has a podcast, so be sure to go check that out.
Yes, and I do plan on doing episodes. I haven't been consistent with it. I think the last one I did was September. It's Art Rambles. It's if you ever want to hear a man talk to himself for about an hour about subjects that are bothering him or about art. Sometimes I talk about art a lot, but sometimes I go on rants and stuff. It's called Art Rambles, not art constructed like talks that have a purpose or a rhythm or whatever. I don't even know what I'm saying. But that's basically how my podcast goes. It's just rambling. So if you like that, you can check it out.
Yeah.
It's there. But yeah, I'm there. And then on socials, RJ underscore that's art on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. Oh, I didn't even complain about Threads in the podcast. I could do that for the next one. I have so much to say about that little Twitter app. Yeah, and then YouTube also. So you can check me out there. And if you want to trade cards, send me a message, or if you have any questions, because that is what I am doing now. And I always have cards to trade, so you can send me a message.
Yeah, that's how him and I met, actually, is we
Yes, I
traded.
have. I have the card behind me. Yes, framed. It is framed because it is my favorite Pokemon. It is Snorlax.
Well, we actually did a trade before that one, though.
Yeah, that was in the binder.
Yeah. Yep. That's how we met as far as trading cards. So definitely
Yes.
make some artist trading cards and trade it with RJ, because it's super fun. It's a great experience to trade art with a fellow artist. But yeah, it was so great to have you on, and
Yeah.
definitely I'll be having you on again. It's just I don't know what time.
Yeah, where I just take over conversations and just rant about my social media experience and tell people to protect their minds. Get the tinfoil hat. Save yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yes,
thank you
yes.
so much, RJ.
Okay, thank you for having me, and it's been a great time.
We'll talk to you all soon. What a fun, upbeat conversation with RJ. If you enjoyed this ramble as much as I did, be sure to follow RJ on his socials. And I highly recommend trading artist trading cards with him if you ever get the chance. There's something really special about creating a piece and receiving one in return. As we mentioned in the interview, RJ also has a podcast called Art Rambles, so definitely check that out if you love creative conversations like this one. Honestly, the spotlight interviews have to be some of my all time favorites. I love these moments where two creatives can openly talk about the good, the hard, the messy, and everything in between. It feels like one of those most genuine ways to grow a creative community. And on that note, if you're a creative and you'd like to share your journey, I'd absolutely love to hear from you. Just send an email to devin@mindovermatastudio.com and we'll get something scheduled. Until then, thank you so much for listening, and as always, keep creating in whatever way feels good to you. Goodbye for now.